How big's that, Alastair?
Oh, it's validation for our footy club that a lot of hard work and a lot of people are doing a lot of great work behind the scenes, and our players too, not just our off-field staff. So, but we're 2 rounds into the season. We played okay last week against the Dogs, but started the game poorly and allowed them to get away to a 3 or 4 goal start that we just found it a challenge to try to draw that back. We stayed in the contest, which was pleasing. And today, without playing scintillating footy, it looked great, final margin and scoreboard, but it was a real arm wrestle. It was only 2 goals of difference, and the game was opening up for both sides, and it looked like either side could punish the other when they had the footy in their hands. But in the third quarter, gee whiz, it was we won the quarter on the scoreboard, but the game was played in Melbourne's half. It was 19 inside 50s to 9. And we just defended really well. Charlie Comben was really important for us behind the ball in the third quarter in particular. And, Core was really important down back. And, Luke McDonald did a great job playing on Bailey Fritz, who's a really damaging forward for them. So we just thought that if we could restrict the opportunities for those Melbourne forwards, it would make it hard. But they still beat us for inside 50s for the day, so our defenders really held up strongly and allowed us to rebound the ball and give us a chance at the other end.
It was one of the most pleasing aspects. You found yourself in this situation many times before where you've dominated play, you've got especially clearances, stoppages, inside 50s, but you don't. You haven't got that reward. You haven't been able to go on and finish with a win. And today, not only you did that, but you went on and had it convincing. Is that like one of the more pleasing aspects of it?
Yeah, it was. But I think both sides. I mean, I'm sure Goody's lamenting some of the turnovers that the Demons gave us. Particularly, as I said, they were dominating the third quarter, but just a couple of horrible turnovers by them gave us scoreboard opportunities in the third quarter. But also in the third quarter, we found some unbelievable ways to muck up the ball ourselves. So that's what happens early in the season. It's a couple of sides have got off to really, really good starts, and they just look so classy and polished with the footy. But by and large, it usually takes 3 or 4 games to get that going. And I thought, both sides today at different stages butchered ball that just looked out. And we probably did it just as much as Melbourne, not significantly so, because it was to score 19 goals is a really good effort. So we obviously had some polish with some of our play, but there were just balls that were out that you're doing. But if that was round 6, round 8, round 10, you're thinking to yourself, they should be picking it up out of the gutter for either a goal to Melbourne or a goal to North Melbourne, and we just didn't manage to do that as well as we'd like. But neither did Melbourne.
Clarko, how do you look back at those 11 minutes to start the final quarter when the game was just ripped apart?
Yeah, well, very, very satisfying because they're a high quality midfield and it's really, really hard to get on top of them. I thought X was fabulous in the ruck against Max, and that's where the ascendancy came from. I think we had 4 centre bounce goals in the last quarter, and that really broke the back of the Melbourne side when it can go just pop straight out of centre and you get a goal straight away. So I think it was. I think we had 4 goals in the first 5 minutes of the last quarter in a game where. It was only 2 or 3 goals separating the sides for the bulk of the day. It was really important that we were able to just split it open in a quick space of time. But it was just really a reflection of Big X's game over the whole game, and I'm glad he was able to get some reward for that period of the game where he's significantly influential just in that little patch.
What's it like in the coach's box in those moments when a game's just it looks like you're clearly going to win? Does everything relax? Is there a fair bit of excitement?
Well, they've been far too infrequent for me and the Kingers, I must say. But it is pleasing when you can get on a roll like that, and then we just started to play better footy. We found options a hell of a lot better. We controlled the ball a lot better, and denied Melbourne the opportunity to go down the other end and score. But it's so infrequent that you get the game played on those terms. But perhaps that was a reflection of just a lot of hard work that had been done in the first 3 quarters to put ourselves in a position where it was time for us to get a lick of the ice cream at the end, which was really pleasing for our players who have worked so hard over a long period of time, but particularly over this summer.
You've been through this before at another club, of bringing through an emerging side with real talent in there. What's the importance of days like this? I know it's only round 2 and there's not a lot that you're clearly not that happy about in terms of turnover, but to get the big result, to get the big scalp, what does that do to a footy club, do you think?
Well, I think it's just validation, as I said from the get-go, about a lot of work that's been done by a lot of people, and but it's one win. We're coming up against an opponent that are as white hot as any in the competition when we play Adelaide next Sunday. So we need to move on from this pretty quickly. We've had a great opportunity to celebrate Jack Dulling's 300 games. It's we feel a little bit awkward, to be fair, to be the ones that need to run the celebrations, because he's the bulk of his career obviously has been at the West Coast Eagles. I thought it was a beautiful gesture. One of his great mates in Andrew Gaff came across from the West and presented his jumper to him before the game. But I really liked that we didn't try to make it into a North Melbourne thing, and that he cheered him off the ground as well. I thought that was a really nice gesture, and reflective of 2 clubs that he's made a contribution at, and a very, very significant contribution at the West Coast Eagles, obviously.
Can you get your first win at Adelaide Oval, the Kangas?
Sorry?
Can you get your first win at Adelaide Oval?
Well, we'll be trying hard, but as I said, they're white hot. They played unbelievably well against St Kilda, and for a 10-goal victory, and another 10-goal win yesterday against Essendon at the MCG. So, but winning form's good form, so we go over there at least knowing that we've done well enough today to be able to get the 4 points, which we haven't been able to do anywhere near frequently enough as a club. So we'll enjoy that for just a short moment, maybe tonight, and then roll the sleeves up and get ourselves ready for the Crows next week.
Hopefully this could be the launching pad for finally turning the wheel at the club. It's been such a barren 5-6 years ago. Hopefully today could be the launching pad, the turning point.
Well, that's too hard to say. It's one victory. Yeah. It's a step in the right direction for us, and there's some validation and belief in the group that plenty of times we've been in these positions before and we haven't been able to capitalise on those chances. So we're hoping we can build into something, but we know it takes a hell of a lot of hard work, and we're also very mindful that we're at round 2 and we're 1 win and 1 loss, and we're coming up against a pretty formidable opponent next week. So we'll be in a much greater position by about mid-year to work out. It doesn't change for us. It's just like, how deep into games can we compete this year? And games like today, where the game is like on the line at 3/4 time, and finally a lot of hard work is paid off and we're able to salute on this particular occasion. Last week we gave ourselves a chance at 3/4 time too. We were 7 points down, and it was the Western Bulldogs that went bang bang in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the last quarter and put us to the sword. So all we intend to do is try to be as competitive as we can deep into games, and we know that as we become a better side, we'll be able to capitalise on some of those opportunities and turn them into victories for us. And when we become a really good side, we'll be able to do that much more frequently than otherwise.
Any injuries?
No, not that I'm aware of. Yeah. Good on you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.